Hello. What is there to say about pencils, pens, and markers? Well, there's some pretty cool options out there and you may not know about them all. Today we're going to look at some pretty cool options that are available to you. Why don't I bring you in a little bit closer so you can see what's going on. So first of all, something you may notice right off the bat is that it has a long needle nose, and that is the most unique feature about this marker. It's even more pronounced when I take the cap off. It comes to a very needle nose point, and that's good for getting into holes. Let me demonstrate that. So let's say that you needed to get into the holes you were going to be mounting this on the wall. So you go to take your pencil. Guess what? Doesn't fit. Take the needle nose marker. There you go, it's marked. It also has a very fine tip, and the edges can be used when you're trying to do a straight edge. So let's say we're trying to do a straight edge, and if we would use a traditional marker, it has a pretty fat body on it, and you have to be very careful to make sure that that marker tip is right up against the straight edge line. With a fine tip marker, you get it right in that corner, and it's almost guaranteed to be right on the edge of that straight edge. I want to take a second to talk about where you can get some of these. I have links in the description down below. Those are affiliate links. If you click on them, I will earn a little bit. I'd appreciate it if you use them, but certainly no obligation. The next one I'm going to talk about is very similar. It is a pencil version of the needle nose, the deep hole pencil. If I take that out, it has the same needle nose functionality, except for it has a pencil lead on it. It is a very dark graphite on it. It's an HB, so it makes a very visible line. And it won't break. If you need an even finer tip, you can, because it's sturdy, you can extend this out a bit, and it gets even thinner just extending out the graphite. In the cap, if you twist it a little bit, there is a sharpener for the tip, and you can just sharpen the tip on that. Next is another variation. So this is a long nose paint marker, and this is a silver color, and what this is used for is marking on a dark surface. So black is great if you have nice contrast like this white sheet of paper, but if you have something dark, that black can blend in and be hard to find later on. So this has a silver paint marker on it, and it's very visible on dark surfaces. So let me give you an example of how I use this. I use this with my foam when I'm building a custom tool case. And the first step that I need to do is to trace around the tool so that I can remove the foam where the tool is going to lie. So I can put that right up against the edge of the tool and just trace right around. Now I have a nice visible line that has good contrast on the black foam. I can make my cut around this line, and the good thing is that as long as you don't wait too long after you get it cut, if you didn't cut off all of that line, you can still wipe it right off before the paint dries. Works out perfect for this foam. On the other end is a chisel tip. The next thing I have is a Milwaukee Inksol marker. You can see it's similar size to a Sharpie, but it has some unique features to it. First of all, if you look at the cap, It has a nice hard hat clip on it. It has a built-in lanyard hole, which is great if you're often losing your marking utensil. It has something to stop it from rolling around, and that's even with the cap off. It has a little lip that'll stop it from rolling off of a table or a board. It won't dry out if the cap is left off. I haven't tested it, but they say you can leave it with the cap off for 72 hours before it will dry off. Another thing is it'll dry fast, especially on non-porous surfaces. And so, whereas with a Sharpie, it might take a little bit longer to dry, and if you come back over it, it might have a tendency to smear. The Milwaukee formula dries faster. And some things that are really good for marking is that it can write on greasy, dusty surfaces. It can even write on rough surfaces. It has kind of a hardened tip on it so it won't get torn up. It also comes in other varieties too. I only use the black, but it does come in other colors. It does come in paint markers as well, including a white variety. But I use some of my deep hole markers for some of those other purposes. So I use this one mainly for when I'm doing kind of rough cuts or something not very refined or hard to reach. Or if it's oily or messy, something I know it's going to leave a solid line. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps us out. If you want to know when new videos come out, be sure to click the button with the bell icon for notifications. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode.